Total Muddy here. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a helpful tip slash reminder that you guys don't always have to spend an arm and a leg to get fluids for your rides. You know, I baby mine and I want the best for both of them, but you know, you don't have to do it at the risk of going bankrupt. You know, obviously you want to be putting the correct stuff in them. Obviously you want them to run appropriately, but you know, putting gold into a toilet doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I know that's not a great analogy, but you know, these things break, it happens, and you can't always blame it on, you know, your maintenance. So kind of a tangent, but honestly, there's ways around it, is what I'm trying to say. There are a lot of ways around having to spend all that money on your four-wheeler for fluid changes. I think we did a full fluid change on the 850 2 years ago, not last summer, but the summer before, and I think it was somewhere around $200. And that's fine. You know, you can take it to the dealership. You can spend $200 if you want. I'm pretty sure I have the receipt. I could pull it up. Maybe I'll scan it for you guys and show you it. But if you really want to do that, go for it. You know, I'm lucky enough. The dealer I got these from, they actually come and they'll pick them up and they'll do it. You know, I give them my garage code and they come, they grab them, and they drop them right back off where they're parked here. But, you know, I do that for this one. I got this one a premium oil package when I purchased it. The other one, on the other hand, that is wifey's. She did not go that route. So, yeah, you know, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get these changed. It's, in my opinion, it's not worth it, especially if you're handy. I think we spent all of $44 on all of this. And most of it was like startup, you know, getting the correct stuff. And this is stuff that I can also use to change the oil on both of our vehicles, and it's exactly what I started doing. It's not that hard of a job to do. So that being said, I'll jump right into this. Now, like I said, I do not do the oil changes for the 1000. I only do them for the 850, but that is only for the next 2.5 years that I will not be doing the oil changes for this. Basically, the oil change package I spoke about covers filters, front, rear, tranny, and oil changes for the next 3 years, twice a year. So it's 6 total changes. Very, very nice setup. They kind of roll it all into the full price that you pay when you walk out the door. So, you know, in my opinion, it was worth it. Just to have that little bit of reassurance. You know, knock on wood, we haven't had any issues with this one. That one, we've had a couple of issues. The 850, love it to death, powerhouse of a four-wheeler. Wouldn't trade it for anything. But, you know, the clutch, we needed to have that realigned. Thankfully, the dealer that we go through, M&M Lawn and Leisure, out of Rushford, Minnesota, took care of that, no cost to us. They've been very helpful. They also took care of a power steering module that went out 2 weeks into purchasing it. So they've been really helpful with everything we do. They also actually replaced the throttle, the thumb throttle accelerator, snapped off twice. I don't know if you guys have had any issues with that. I haven't had any on the electric throttle response. On this one, really despise the cable throttle on the other one. You know, this one is so nice. I love this one. It's so easy to drive. In fact, she prefers driving this one, but she doesn't like the power. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm going into with that. Haven't had any issues with that one so far. After doing the fluid changes and we took it up north, we really hammered on it, but you know, we haven't had any issues. We did the oil change before we went. I would recommend, though, being very careful when removing the I wish I could tell you guys the millimeter size on those, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. I can probably give you the specs on them in the video here. But be very careful. They unreal how difficult or how easy it is for them to strip out. I've never had an oil drain plug strip out on me, but sure as shit, that front diff. Luckily, I was able to get it out with a vice grip, but we had to replace it. Kind of a bummer, but what do you do? We got it replaced, and we took it and put that in, and she's been just fine ever since. So anyway, I keep kind of going off on tangents, but this is kind of the lineup that we use. We use Mobil 1. Haven't had any issues with them. I don't know. You guys can do whatever you want. You know, Valvoline, whatever. Do what you want. If you want to spend the however much money it is on the Polaris kit, do what you want. I don't care. This is 40 bucks. It's cheap. It's easy. Do it yourself. It took us an afternoon, and it was fun. We cleaned out the entire four-wheeler, took off the skid plates. Sorry about the sniffles, by the way. It is winter. It is 10 degrees out, so cold season. Anyway, so I'll start with the engine oil. So for the engine oil, we use 0W40, and that takes about 2 quarts for the engine. Now, I'm going to kind of jump back and forth here, but in order to get into some of these tougher spots for the oil, you know, you drain it, you replace the plug, then you got to fill it. So what we did is we got a couple of these. This is just one of them, but these plungers, they come in very, very handy. You just pop them in there. You know, you don't have to spill anything. You can do the whole, I think we got a couple funnels up here, but you know, it's nice to have. It's really easy to use. Gets into those tight spots, especially with the front diff and the rear diff. Very, very nice to have. Also the transmission fluid, that's really nice to have. Now, one thing I was curious about was on some of them, I guess they have a power steering reservoir that you have to flush, but we didn't have to do that. I'm kind of cutting in and out, like I said, I'm going to. This is kind of my first video log. Usually, you know, I'm talking to you guys, talking to Natalie over an intercom, so a little bit new for me. That one does not have that reservoir. I believe that was a change from the 2014 to 2016, somewhere in there. This one does not have that either. I looked for it. I thought I had to do that for a flush. Do not have to do that. So that was actually really nice. I was a little worried about doing that, but ended up we didn't have to. So, like I said, engine oil, filter. For the engine oil we use 0W40 and M1-110 for the oil filter, if you guys can see that right there. Both work very well, both very easy to replace, or this was very easy to replace. And this takes about 2 quarts for the engine oil, so it says right there. 1.9, 2 quarts, so 2 of these bottles. Pretty self-explanatory. You put it in the engine, refill it. We do ours about every 50 hours. So, and then every other oil change we'll do a full fluid. So, every 50 hours that we put on the machines, I think hers just hit the 1,000 mile mark, which is awesome. You know, that's pretty cool for hers. So, in that time frame, we've put on about, what is this? This would be the third. I think this would be the 3rd change that we've done in this. So she's got 150, 200 hours somewhere in there. But with all the mudding we do and all the rough terrain we ride in, we like to change them about that frequently. So every 50 hours for these, we'll change these out just to kind of keep that consistent. So we'll set these over here. Next, we'll go to the transmission fluid. Now I still have quite a bit left in here. Only uses about 1.1 liters. I put on here until it leaks, because in the fill hole, you'll put this hose and you basically just pump it until it fills. So this one takes a while. It definitely takes a while to do the transmission fluid. Probably took us about 5 minutes to get it full. Lot comes out, lot goes in. You know how it goes. Same thing with the oil. It was the same way. So we use 5W20 for that. Works really well. Had no issues with it so far, like I've said throughout the whole video. We'll do the front diff. Now this is where stuff gets a little touchy. Everyone has their preference. Oh, you know, you need to stick with, you know, there's certain specific gears and all the... Okay guys, let's be real. Polaris is slapping a name on a bottle You know, they're basically ripping this label off and they're, oh, this is Polaris, we're going to charge you $50 for this bottle. They don't literally do that, obviously, but you get where I'm coming from, okay? You know, they could say, oh, they have specific gearing and they have specific this, that, and the other thing that requires a specific fluid. It's the exact same goddamn thing, okay? They just change a couple of numbers. Like, let's be real here, guys. So the front diff, after my little tangent, we use synthetic automatic transmission fluid. Works great. Have no issues. Haven't had any issues. I put until it leaks because, you know, once you empty it out of the drain, the drain plug comes out. You plug it back in, and then you fill it until it starts to leak out. Haven't had any issues. It wasn't gummy at all. It was really good. Very, 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 very happy with the performance of this so far. Never had an issue with locking up. Never had an issue with grinding gears. It's been very, very, very good to us. Finally, we get to the rear diff. 75W90, and this is the same thing until it leaks, as you can see there on the bottle. This one also, a lot of people say, you know, oh, the front and the rear diff are different. They are. They use very different fluids, but you don't have to use the Polaris fluids. You don't have to spend $100 on, or however much. It's like $200. I don't even know. I don't even know because I didn't want to look because I didn't want to spend the money. I love my machines. I'll do my fluid changes on them. Everyone else, you guys can do whatever you want. It's not on me, but if you want to save a few bucks, if you want to spend that money, you know, out on the trails, if you want to have a few, you know, lunches or something planned where you can go and just stop at a bar and grab a bite to eat instead of having to worry, oh, can't spend the money because I had to do my oil change. You know, I get penny pinching. I really do. But you can enjoy life too. You know, you don't have to struggle with it. So anyway, saving all this money on these fluids really did help. You know, it's nice to know that you have the alternatives, and that's really what I'm trying to do. You know, I may be going back and forth here, but it's really nice to have these alternatives available to you, and that's what I'm trying to make known. You know, all of this stuff has been really helpful. Startup is a little bit more expensive. I think the fluids alone were $44. This is like $8, $6. You don't have to get this, but I got the big 16-quart drain because I can do, you know, her car, my truck, and I can do both four-wheelers and still be able to keep it all in there until I decide to go and recycle it. So really, really nice to have. Now essentially it's just going to be this stuff. And these aren't even empty. You know, I can still use these for probably the next 5-6 oil changes. You know, these are good for a while, and I only change these once every 100 miles, or 100 hours, I'm sorry. Every 100 miles. I only change these once every 100, so I'm really not spending the $40. I'm only going to be spending for 2 quarts and a filter. So what is that, like 20 bucks? Can't beat it, guys. I'm just saying, 20 bucks. If you had the tools, if you have the know-how, you know, YouTube's full of videos. YouTube has everything. That's how I learned how to do this stuff. You know, I'm not a wrencher. I don't know this stuff very well, but I'm able to do it. I gotta clean this one up, you know, and I'm able to do it. I can do it. I don't have to take it in to have it cleaned and have the $40 cleaning charge. The fact is, you know, we do this, we have fun with it, but we're also able to take care of it ourselves, which is really, really cool. So, you know, I really hope this video helps you guys. I know I kind of went off on a couple tangents. I'll try and edit it the best I can to try and fix that. But like I said, this is all kind of what you would need to do these changes. So if this video helped, you know, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. You guys have been so supportive so far. You have no idea how much it means. Last but not least, I want to add in one more thing. This guy right here. If anyone knows who this is, or what this is, sorry, let me know down in the comments what a grease gun is and where your grease points are. I'm not asking because I don't know. I'm asking if you guys know. Before every ride, you got to make sure your fittings are greased. Because if you're doing a lot of mud riding, you know, there's seals, there's bushings, there's stuff that can go out really, really, really fast. On one ride alone we had on, I think it was hers. Every time you got on it, it squeaked. It squealed. It wasn't fun because it was so loud and annoying. Well, we fixed it very easily by just greasing the fittings. I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's either 8 or 10 on hers, and I think there's 8 or 10 on mine. There's something like that. I can't remember. But basically, where all the joints are that hook up to the frame for the suspension, the AR, the swing arms. So you got to make sure all this stuff is greased up, guys. It's a big deal. Like, look at how mucky this thing is. We put these things to use. We beat them. And as long as we take care of them, you know, they keep on chugging. It's a wonder what this stuff will do if you actually keep up on it. So anyway, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. I got a few others coming. I hope you guys haven't left us yet. A lot more to come. Really looking forward to the 2018 riding season. So would still really like to get out and do some winter riding. But as you guys can see, still got to upgrade and get some heated grips on here, on both of them. I think more so her. She does not like the cold. Anyway, you know, really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care. Have a Minnesota muddy day, guys.